Hey all, Dan Ware here, and I'm going to be going over how to install Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth 2 on Wine on Linux. Now, the reason I'm going over this is because when you go over to Lutris, the application, and you try to install Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth on there, it tries to tell you that it's going to download the official patch, and that does not work. I have not figured out why, but what it usually does is it says that the game data.dat is not working, or if it doesn't say that, it just tries to open up and then it crashes. And that's usually based off of what I found online, due to the fact that for some odd reason, the disk doesn't install two important files that the game needs, and this is located inside of the app data for the Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth 2 on Windows. And these two important parts are the maps folder and file called options.ini that has a bunch of data that the game needs. In either case, the game will not successfully start. And if you try to do the fix I just talked about inside of a wine, the game will not recognize that those files are in there. After a lot of hours of going around and trying to figure out what in the world is wrong and actually trying those solutions out before finally finding this, I found out that if you go on lutris.net, there are actually fans of the game who made a patch for this. Now, this option doesn't come up on this immediately. It does after you click on the install, but as far as I know, you can't find this option immediately. So what they did is I just want to make one thing clear. This isn't piracy. You still need the DVD and the code to run the game. They just made it so that it doesn't crash immediately when you try to install it and play it. The developers, from what I've heard, for the most part, haven't been of much help. EA won't help with this at all. I'm guessing it's because it's a really old game. I think this game is from 2005 or maybe a little earlier or later. So they won't help. Some fans made this patch in which it will install everything for you and you'll get the game up and running. I'm going to be going over how to get that set up right now. What you want to do is you want to click this install button. If you have Lutris already installed on your computer, then you can just choose Lutris as the application that you want to open up and click open link. It will ask you if you want to install the DVD plus fan patch plus the HD mod. You say install. It will then tell you where wine is going to be installed for this specific instance, and you can choose wherever. The default is your name, games folder, and then Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth 2. Just click install. If you want to change it, just click browse and click directory that you would prefer. After that, it grabs some files it needs. They're actually the patches that you need to be able to get the game to run correctly. This isn't the game data, it's just some patches. It's an executable. It'll grab that from this website. It'll take a little bit depending on how your internet is. I will get back to you when it finishes downloading. Alright, after it is done downloading, it will tell you to download this mod, also made by the fans. This is the mod that is supposed to bring in HD textures to the game, and it is actually required to be able to play the game. So what you want to do is right click, open the link, and then you want to scroll down, and this version is version 1.1. It is actually the latest update. They were just done with version 1.09 previously. So click the download now button. It will start downloading automatically. And then just save it. I'm not going to save it only because I already downloaded this. So I'm going to click cancel. And then after that, you want to go back to the installer. Then look for the file. If you just downloaded it, it will be in your downloads folder. So over here. And then you want to get that. So that's this right here, BFME2 HD edition underscore setup.1.exe. Click OK, and then continue. Now it's going to start actually configuring wine and setting up everything that it would need in it. say the operating system, DirectX 9, and so on. After that, you want to insert your disk into your computer. You can either browse for the exe file. It even says what exe it's looking for. It's autorun.exe. You can either browse for it or you can auto detect it. If you're running this on like a standard CD drive, then just auto detect, it will know where to find it. After that, all the files will start running. This, you don't have to worry about this. This is just a standard thing that comes if you're just like you're installing this on a Windows machine. So you can just click OK. You don't have to worry about any applications running in the background. And then the installation screen for Battlefield Middle-earth 2 will pop up. You just click the install button, read the license agreement, and then click yes. Like I told you, this is not piracy. You still need code that usually came back. It even says here the code that came back in the manual or the CD or DVD case. I am going to enter that right now. And then you click next. And one thing I wanted to say of note, if you still have the code that came with the game and it doesn't work, that's because for some really weird reason, the code can only be used once or after so many times. If you have the code on you and it doesn't work, some people have suggested contacting EA on this, but people have gotten mixed reviews on doing that. So my only suggestion is, honestly, because of how old this game is, to look up a code online and just try those. Just a bit of a warning though, after the installation, if you start the campaign and if you lose, like everything is destroyed instantly after about 2 minutes, it means that the game thinks you're using a pirated copy just because of the code that you decided to type in. If that's the case, uninstall the game, reinstall it, and try another code. The only reason I'm saying this is not to promote piracy, but basically because of the way that they decided to deal with the codes when making this game. So click the next button. And then after that, it's going to say the default directory. So just click next. This screen will pop up. My recommendation would be register later. After that, a bunch of game files will start to install. I'm going to let this install and I'll be back when this finishes. Alright, so now that that part is finished, next thing it's going to do is say that it detected a firewall. It says your computer has a Windows firewall enabled. In order to play the game online, they have to add it to the exemption list. The reason this is funny is because Wine doesn't support networking for Windows. So this overall doesn't matter. You can click yes, you can click no. It doesn't matter because chances are you won't be able to communicate online anyways on Wine. Personally, I'll just click yes. I really don't care either way. The next thing you want to do after that is you actually want to quit the game because another thing is about to install. So click finish. And then what's going to pop up next is this setup. And this is the HD edition. It will say, welcome to Battle for Middle-earth 2 HD edition by, and this is the setup wizard that they made for this. So you click next. You just say where you want the HD edition to go, and you can just click default if you want. Click next. Click next. Install. Then you can do next is just finish. After this, it will bring up a patch switcher. The patch switcher is made to basically change the resolution. The default resolution for the game is 1080p, but say you have a 1440p monitor, you'll either have to edit the INI files that I was talking about earlier, and you have to do that manually, or you have to rerun the patch switcher so that you can just fix the resolution. Go back here, you can just install the patch switcher and then click next and install. what we can do next, you can actually launch the BFME2 patch switcher if you want. Remember, the default is 1080p. If you want to do it in a different resolution, say 1440p, or I doubt it supports it, but 4K, then you can launch it and go to the patch switcher. And I'll actually launch that just so that you can see what it looks like. So there's 3 versions, 1.00, 1.06, and 1.09. I would recommend 1.09. Remember, we downloaded 1.1 and 1.09 is the closest to it. Just X out of this. You don't need to see it anymore. And it will say that it is done. So if you want, you can create a desktop shortcut or an application shortcut if you want, or you can just run it directly from Lutris. Doesn't matter. And then you can just click launch or close. I am going to click launch. Then the game will start launching up. And you can see that is the HD edition. If you didn't hear any audio, that's actually because I completely turned down the desktop audio because I did not want notification sounds to happen while I was recording this video. Just to prove that the audio does work though, I'll turn on the audio real quick. 1 second. And as you can hear, the audio is going off. So now you should be able to play the game just regularly. And again, if you play the campaign at all, I'm actually going to turn the audio off 1 second. If you want to play the game, you can do that. If you want to go multiplayer, you can try it. I know for a fact EA does not have official networks. Unless they changed their minds recently, they don't have any official network. You'd have to go on ones that people made on their own servers. You can do a tutorial if you're new to this game, and it'll just tell you how to use it. You can also do a really cool mode, the War of the Ring turn-based game across the map of the Middle Earth, so you go across the entire map, or you can do a skirmish against other computer players. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any issues, leave a comment below. I'll see if I can figure out what your problem is, and until next time, see ya.